So find your sitting bones and equally weight in both sitting bones. As you settle into the foundation of your pelvis, begin aligning your ribs and your shoulders and your head right on top of your pelvis. There's a tendency to move the torso and the head in many directions when we're seeking or avoiding. So right here in this moment, just balance right on top of the foundation of you. With your hands resting on your thighs, it could be palm down or palm up. Bring your elbows close to your body so that from elbow to armpit, your arms are nestling against your side waist. And this will help create a stronger column of you, an uprising from the foundation to the crown of your head. So your arms are squeezing a little bit towards your body. And now as you breathe, on the inhalation, see if you can feel the side waist, the sides of your rib cage expand out and meet and greet your arms. Breathing laterally. As you tune into your inhalation, see if you can sense the inhalation all the way up in your armpits. The breath is something we trust. It's just ever present for us. We don't have to think about it. It is one of those amazing aspects of us, of our life, that we can control. We can change our breath rate. For now, the practice is just to be aware of the breath and feeling your breath expand laterally into your arms. When we trust what's going on, just like this ability to witness our breath, we have the wisdom and strength to endure and explore. And this gives us the freedom to express our life creatively. Bring your hands to your heart in Anjali Mudra, prayer position, offering gratitude for this ever-present freedom that is a divine essence within us. And then release your hands and open your eyes if they're closed. All right, come into all fours position, please, hands and knees. With hands and knees, take a look at your hands as soon as you place them. You want to double check that the creases of your wrists are parallel to the front edge of your mat. So you're in all fours position while I tie up my hair so it doesn't interfere with the microphone. And then with the creases of your wrists parallel to the front edge of the mat, what it'll look like is that your hands are slightly turning out. Now claw with each finger pad and the root of the index finger and the base of the thumb. On the next exhale, round your spine like a cat. Drop your head, drop your tail, lift your middle. On an in-breath, lift your tail, pull your heart forward and look up. Keep this going 3 more times. Use an exhale to come into spinal flexion. The mic gets weird when I drop my head. I apologize for that. Use an in-breath to extend your spine and really claw with your hands to pull your heart back. 1 more time, each direction. And now hold neutral pelvis, neutral spine. Step your right foot back behind you. I am teaching right left, so when you look at the screen, it may not look to you like it's the right leg, but I am using my right leg. and you use your right leg. Lift your right leg up, extend your left arm forward and breathe. Next breath cycle, return your left hand to the mat, right knee down. Step your left leg back. Keep your toes tucked under and your foot on the ground at first to push with your left foot so that you feel the left muscles of the leg tone, right? So the whole left leg is toning and firming. And then keep that quality and lift your left leg up. Extend your right arm forward and breathe. Next exhale, left leg, right hand to the mat. Step your right leg back behind you again. And then keeping a push from the core of your pelvis into your right big toe ball joint so that you feel the toning of your right leg. Pick your right leg up, and on an exhale, draw your right knee to your chest and round your spine like a cat. In breath, extend your right leg out, it's in the air. Exhale, round your spine like a cat, draw your knee to your forehead and bring your forehead to your knee. One more time, so cat-cow with leg movement. Here's your last one. Return your right foot to the ground, right knee down, left leg back. Push with the left foot on the ground to start. So once again, you feel the muscles hugging onto the bone in your left leg. Keep clawing with your hands, and on your next exhale, lift your left leg up. Continue to breathe. Wait for another exhale, and then round your spine like a cat. In breath, stretch long. Heart forward, hands pull back. Two more times. Here's your last one. And then return your left foot to the ground. Breathe. Walk your hands a full handprint forward. Use your hands rooting into the earth and tuck your toes. Press your hips up and back into downward facing dog. Stay with your breath. I'll be turning in different directions on the mat. In case you ever need to look up to see me, what I'm hoping is that you'll be able to work with the audio cues and rarely look up. Walk your hands and your feet towards one another until your feet are balanced underneath your pelvis. Bend your knees and bring your hands to your pelvis. Move your heart forward and keep your head a natural extension of your spine. Pushing down with your feet, inhale and come up. Exhale and release your arms. Inhale, take a big breath up. Grab onto your left wrist with your right hand and tip over to the right. And again, I am cueing right, left. I am doing right, left. So I may look opposite of you depending on how you have your monitor set up. Push with both feet. Inhale and come up. Exhale and release your arms. Second side, big breath up. Grab onto your right wrist with your left hand. Tip to the left. Breathe. Press down with both feet. Inhale and come up. Exhale and release your arms. Big breath. Open your arms out to a T. Clasp your hands in the back plane. I'm just turning around to show you. So you're holding your hands loosely, fingers threaded. And take the effort and energy into your forearms and press your forearms in and your upper arms out. Drawing your tail down, lift up through your heart. Bend your knees a little bit so that your legs are resilient and responsive. And extend more fully through your heart. Move the sides of your neck back, the tips of your ears back. The top of the skull extends up and back. Push down with your feet. Bring your head up first, eye gaze neutral. Release your arms down by your side. Arms reach up, out to a T. Right arm into the midline, left arm underneath. Rocking your arms, and if they don't meet, it's okay. They could be separated. And then from the back of your heart, this is the bigger cue. From the back of your heart to your elbow tips, reach forward. Stay with your breath, and we're just going to add a head movement. I'm just turning sideways in case you need to see it. On an exhale, drop your head down. On an in-breath, lift your head up. Keep expanding from the back of your heart to your elbow tip. One more time in each direction. Next time your head is neutral, on an in-breath, open your arms out wide. Exhale them down. Big breath up. Open your arms out to a T. Second side, left arm into the midline, right arm underneath. Wrapping your arms, they don't have to touch if that's really awkward for this side of you. Breathe. So the practice is non-harming. On the next exhale, chin drops towards chest. On the in-breath, head lifts. So non-harming is one of the fundamental principles and practices in yoga. So we have to trust that we're going to make choices as we practice online together that are good for us, that allow us to express our life creatively. And it gives us this freedom when we begin from this place. On an in-breath, open your arms out wide. Exhale your arms down by your side. All right, walk all the way to the top of your mat. Bring your hands to your pelvis. Standing well in your left foot, step your right foot back, high lunge. The right heel is lifted. Push with your left heel, lift up through your heart. On an in-breath, raise your arms up, open them out to a T, right arm into the midline, left arm underneath, breathe. On an exhale, elbow towards knee, both elbows towards the left knee. Inhale and come up. One more time, elbows towards knee. In breath and come up. Release the arms, exhale them down, step your right foot forward. Hands to the pelvis and breathe. Second side, left foot back, high lunge. As you press down through your feet, pull both feet towards one another. So that's muscular energy. It's this drawing in that keeps us stable. And now from the core of your pelvis, on an in-breath, reach up through the side waist and up into your fingertips. On your next breath, arms reach from your heart out to a T in the side plane. Left arm this time into the midline, right arm underneath. Breathe, back of the heart to elbow tips, reach forward. On your next exhale, bow. Only go down as far as you feel stable and you're able to keep your right knee tracking. Keep it going. Move in your range of motion. So it's a non-harming practice. If you see your right knee falling in, falling out, shift the range. Maybe you don't have to go as big. Maybe you just hold steady and breathe, right? Release your arms down by your side after this next one. Push with your right foot. Step your left foot forward. Inhale, take a big breath up. Exhale, have a seat, chair pose. Fold forward to Uttanasana. Step back to downward facing dog, please. Breathe. When I go upside down, the mic will get weird. I apologize. I'll tend to talk less upside down. Or I'll lift my head so I can speak and give cues. You keep your head down. So here in dog, bend your knees. Keeping your toes spreading, press your shins in and move your thighs out. That's muscular energy. You're working strongly with actions in your legs. Keeping your shins pressing in and your thighs moving apart. Tip your sitting bones just a little bit higher to the sky so you begin to stretch your hamstrings from the pelvis moving. Now, if you lengthened your legs to tip your pelvis, go back to a knee bend and try to tip your pelvis without lengthening through the knee joint. See if you can find that. Keep that and then reach down through your tail so that your belly and your ribs lift. And from the bottom of your heart, up through your armpits and out through your hands, extend. Now from the bottom of your heart through your pelvis, through your heels, now lengthen. So now go ahead and reach strongly from pelvis towards heel into the earth as you lengthen your legs any amount. Keeping balanced action in your hands and in your feet. So both hands and feet are pushing. Inhale, come forward to plank. Bring your knees to the mat. Lower all the way down. Clawing the mat with your hands. Inhale up, Bhujangasana. Legs are squeezing together and reaching back. Keep moving your heart forward to lower back down onto your belly. Push up into all fours position, please. Hands and knees. Step your right foot forward. It's going to be like it's in a lunge position. So left knee down, right leg forward. Work both hands to the inside of your right foot. Work your right foot over to the side a little bit so it's moving into a side position called abduction, moving away from the midline. And then as you exhale, shift your pelvis back towards your left heel. In breath, come back up to the start position, which is one knee down, the other leg in a lunge. And as you exhale, shift your pelvis back towards your heel. 2 more times. Last one, breathe. In breath and come up, switch legs. So right knee down, left foot forward for a lunge. Both hands to the inside of your left leg. Once again, we're going to abduct the left leg a little bit. So it's going to move away from the midline, stepping out sideways to the left. Breathe. And on an exhale, shift your pelvis back towards your right heel. On an in-breath, come back up into the modified fours position. 3 more times. In-breath, rise. You have 1 more after this one. As you complete and you're rising, left knee to the mat, both knees are now in kneeling position, all fours. Step your right leg back behind you, toes tucked under. Push with your right foot so that you feel the muscles of your right leg toning. Pick your right leg up, cross the midline with your right leg, so it's crossing all the way across the midline. And you're beginning to get a lateral bend. To increase it, walk your hands over to the left, just a little bit. Come down onto your left forearm. So the left forearm is now in a forearm plank. Push with it. Crawl your right hand out and push with your right foot and your right finger pads as you press down with your left forearm. Peek your head underneath your right armpit and breathe. Stretch from the core of your pelvis into your right foot. So really push. And then extend from the core of your pelvis through your right side waist, up into your armpit and into your right fingertips. As you stay with your breath, turn your left ribs more open so that you'll open your heart to the right side of you. On your next breath, turn everything back to the earth. Place both hands flat on the ground. Once your hands are underneath your shoulders, uncross your right leg. Come back into all fours position, please. Breathe. Step your left leg back. Toes tucked under. Pressing with your left foot so much that you feel the muscles of your left leg firm to the bone. Keeping this muscular engagement of the left leg, pick it up, cross the midline, and push with your left foot on the ground. Walk both hands over a little bit to the right. Come down onto your right forearm, and immediately the right forearm is in a forearm plank position. So from finger pads through wrist to elbow, the whole length from elbow to fingers is pushing to create strength through the right side waist. Trust that you have this strength as you extend your left arm out. Left arm is reaching fully as you continue to push down with your right foot, right shin bone, right forearm, right hand. Push off the earth with your left fingertips. And now reach from your left pelvis to your left foot more so that you open up your left side waist. Reach from left pelvis to left armpit through left fingertips and push into the earth so you get a greater stretch through the left side waist. And as you stay with your breath, turn your right ribs open to the left. Peek underneath your left armpit. On an in-breath, return to center. Come back to all fours position and cross your leg. Work your hands a handprint forward. Root into the earth, tuck your toes, press your hips up and back into down dog. Knees are bent for dog at first so that we can work with deeper actions of the legs and through the pelvis. So spread your toes. And keeping the knees bent, try to squeeze the shins in. They don't actually move. It's a muscular action. And then way up at the upper inner thighs, try to broaden. And if you've got those two actions, what you'll feel is the butt tissue, the tissue of your buttocks laterally expanding, which will give you space and freedom to align your spine. Tip your sitting bones a little bit higher to the sky. And as you keep the base of the ribs lifted to the height of your frontal hip bones, expand from your heart through your pelvis to your heels to lengthen your legs any amount without losing the tip of the pelvis, without changing the shape of your spine. So your spine has stayed long and extended. Next breath, walk hands and feet towards one another. Once your feet are underneath you in a steady, firm base, bring your hands to your pelvis. Move your heart forward. Press down with your feet. Inhale and come up. Exhale and release your arms down by your side. Let's take a wide stance on the mat, please. So in a nice wide stance, turn your left foot in. Turn your right foot all the way open. Breathe. Reach your arms up to the sky and out to a T. Pull both feet towards one another as you release your front hip and come into a knee bend. Continue to anchor from the pelvis of your back leg, your left leg, down through your left outer heel. Bring the right buttock underneath you a little bit more and broaden your right inner knee to the right. Turn your gaze to look right. On your next breath, reaching equally from your heart to your fingertips, wait for an exhale, and rotate the head of the arm bone on the right arm so that your right palm turns open. Keep reaching in both directions, into your past and into your future as you stay here in the present. Reach down just as much with your back arm, your left arm, as your right arm floats up. So we're reversing our warrior. Left arm reaching down just as much as right arm floats up. Breathe. On an in-breath, arms back to center, torso on top of pelvis. Clasp your hands behind your back. Lift up through your heart. Draw down through your tail. Next breath, lateral bend. Keep the arms in the back plane if you can. If they need to come off and your right arm needs to rest on your right quad, that's fine. Turn your right ribs more forward. Draw the left ribs back behind you, so you're turning your heart open to the world. Push with both feet. Inhale and come up. Exhale and release your arms. Turn your feet parallel. Turning your right foot slightly in. Turn your left foot all the way open, so we're on the second side. Spread your toes. Reach your arms up to the sky and out to a T. As you pull your feet towards one another, release your front hip so that you come into a knee bend on the front leg. Working towards left thigh bone, towards parallel to the earth, so that the knee stacks over the ankle. Maybe even the knee is over the arch of the foot a little bit. Work in the range that's non-harming and best for you. From your heart now, out through both fingertips, expand more fully. From the head of the left arm bone to the fingertips, rotate the left palm to the sky. Keep this equanimity, this equal reach from the heart of you to your past and to your future as you stay in this present moment. And rest back, lean back. So bottom arm reaches down just as much as top arm reaches up. Exalted warrior, reverse warrior, has a couple names. A modern form, modern posture. One more full breath. Root into your feet as you press into your heels. Inhale and come up. Exhale and release your arms. Inhale, reach your arms up. Open them out to a T. Clasp your hands into the back plane. Bend your elbows and loosen the grip between each finger. So you're threading your hands, but not over gripping. Pressing the forearms in, moving the upper arms apart to open the front of your chest. Wait for your next exhale, side bend. Keep the bottom ribs moving forward, top ribs moving back, so that your heart stays open. You can trust that you're able to be here in the range that's appropriate for you. Push with your back foot, inhale and come up. Exhale and release your arms. Lengthen both legs. Turn feet parallel, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. Come in. Walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, take a big breath up. Exhale, have a seat, chair pose. Fold forward, Uttanasana. Step back to downward facing dog. Breathe. Bend your knees. As you spread your toes and push with your hands and your feet. Move your shins in, your inner thighs apart. Draw down through your tail. And lengthen your legs any amount. On your next inhale, come forward to plank. Breathe here. Steady, strong. Couple more breath cycles here in plank. Bring your knees to the mat, or you could keep the legs long. Lower all the way down onto your belly. With your hands by your chest wall, keep your shoulders at the height of your elbows. Squeeze your legs towards one another and reach from the core of your pelvis to your feet to the wall behind you, or the space behind you. In breath, pull your heart forward by clawing and pulling your hands back, coming up into Bhujangasana, Cobra. Next breath, heart moves forward, lower all the way down. Place your left forearm underneath your head. So you're using your left arm as a pillow. I'm going to lift my head up so the mic's not weird, but you keep yours down. Bend your right knee. Receive your right foot with your right hand. So you're in a quad stretch. Spread your toes. Press your right foot away as you keep both sides of your pelvis evenly pressing into the mat. Take another breath. And then release your right leg. Second side, so head down, right forearm is the pillow for your head. I'm lifting my head so the mic is clearer. Bend your left knee, receive your left foot with your left hand. With your left elbow bent, keep your left armpit chest open. Both frontal hip bones equally anchoring to the mat. And then begin pressing your left foot away, but your left hand resists. Stay with your breath. And then release. Push up into all fours position, please. Hands and knees. Step your right leg back behind you, toes tucked under. Push with the right foot to feel the muscles toning in your right leg. And then on an in-breath, lift your right leg up. Bend your right knee. Keeping your pelvis level, the tendency will be to lift the right side of the pelvis up because that's the leg that's in the air. Try to keep the right frontal hip bone level with the left. And use your hamstring and your glute in your right leg to pick the right leg up. So the pelvis doesn't lift. You'll feel an engagement of hamstring glute on the right side if you try to pick your right knee up while keeping the pelvis level. Breathe. And then release your right foot to the mat, right knee down. So back to all fours. Step your left leg back. Toes tucked under. Feel how when you push from the core of your pelvis into your left foot, the muscles of your left leg tone. On an in-breath, lift your left leg up. Fold your left leg. So left knee is bent. Lift your left leg up to the sky. Breathe. Hamstring glute connection, double checking that you're not laterally spilling into the right half of the pelvis, like you're laterally shifting. You don't want that. So using the outer right hip to stay steady while you're using your left hamstring glute for strength to lift the left leg. All right, extend the left leg out, return it to the mat, and then fold the left knee, return it to the earth. I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see what's coming up. So still the right side leading, right side steps back, right foot steps back, right leg lifts, right knee bends. Push strongly with your right hand so that you can lift and extend the left arm. On the next exhale, left arm reaches into the back plane. Now use the hamstring glute on the right side to lift the right knee up and see if you can catch the left foot. I'm sorry, catch the right foot with the left hand. Breathe. Claw with your right hand, pull your heart forward, maybe look up. Next breath, extend the right leg, extend the left arm, return both to the mat. Back to all fours position, breathe. Left leg steps back, push with your left foot to tone. On an in-breath, lift the left leg up, bend your left knee, extend your right arm forward. Now this could be a good place just to stop. You're like, this is good enough. Option is right arm into the back plane, then the right elbow to receive the left foot. Keep pressing the right forearm in as you broaden the left upper arm apart. Instead of lifting the left pelvic half, use the left hamstring glute to pick the left knee up. Breathe. Option is to extend the heart as you claw with your hands, look forward, Trust that you can be here. Extend the left leg, extend the right arm. Return hand and knee to the mat, back to fours. Tuck your toes. Press with your hands and feet, go up and back into downward facing dog. From down dog, pressing with your left foot, raise your right leg in the air. Keeping your pelvis level and square, bend your right knee. Now, instead of just bending the right knee and flopping, bend your right knee and get hamstring glute. On your next exhale, round your spine like a cat and draw your right knee to your forehead. In breath, extend the right leg up. Exhale, bend the right knee, hamstring glute. Exhale, round your spine like a cat, knee to forehead. One more time. In breath, extend your leg. Exhale, bend your right knee, get hamstring glute. Use another breath, and on the exhale, round your spine like a cat. In breath, extend your right leg high, return your right foot to the ground. Standing on your right foot and pushing with it, breathe. Left leg strong and long into the air. Bend your left knee, hamstring glute. Stay with your breath. On an exhale, round your spine like a cat. In breath, extend your left leg long. Exhale, fold the left leg. Continue to breathe. Wait for the next exhale. Round your spine like a cat. In breath, stretch your leg long. Here's your last one. Hamstring glute, bend your knee. Keep the hamstring glute, flex your spine. Forehead to knee. Stretch out long with your left leg. Return your left foot to the ground. Walk your hands and your feet towards one another. Bring your hands to your pelvis. Push with your feet. Inhale and come up. Take a wide stance, please, on your mat. All right. Turning your left foot in, that's our back foot. Turn your right foot all the way open. Reach your arms up to the sky and out to a T. Stay with your breath, and on your next exhale, Trikonasana, triangle pose. Anchor into your back foot. Inhale and come up. Exhale and release your arms. Turn your right foot in. Turn your left foot open. Reach your arms up to the sky and out to a T. Stay with your breath, and on an exhale, left hand down, right arm skyward, triangle pose, Trikonasana. From the core of your pelvis to your outer right heel, push to inhale and come up. Exhale and release your arms. Heel toe come together. Walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, take a big breath up. Exhale, have a seat chair pose. Fold forward to Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Breathe. Step your right foot back, low lunge. Hands are on either side of your front leg. Now you could use yoga blocks for the hands. I'm just going to show that real quick, so you stay down. So if a low lunge is a big deal for you, you could even use books at home. You don't have to have yoga blocks. So the blocks could be in their tallest position, right? Medium or low. Back knee down, touch the back knee down, lift the back leg up. So push into your front heel, down. Press into your big toe ball joint in your back foot. Keeping the push of both feet, continue to bend the back knee, bring it towards the mat, and lengthen the back leg. One more time. All right. Step into your left heel. Push with your left heel to swing your right foot forward, standing forward fold. Drop your head in, breathe. Bring your hands to your pelvis, move your heart forward, inhale and come up. Exhale and release your arms down. Second side, big breath up. Exhale, have a seat chair pose. Fold forward, Uttanasana. Step back, low lunge. Breathe. Keep pulling your feet towards one another. This hugging in will help. And then on the exhale, lower the back knee down. Press firmly with the inner and outer edge of your front foot to lift the back leg up. Keep going. down and up. Couple more times. Two more. All right, rooting into your front heel, back leg lifted and lengthened by pushing into the big toe ball joint on the left foot. Strongly push into your right heel so that you feel your right buttock muscles turn on. Step your left foot forward, bring your hands to your pelvis. Inhale and rise up. Take a big breath up. Open your arms out to a T. Clasp your hands behind your back. I'm just turning around to show you. And then squeezing your forearms in. Lift your heart up. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see how big you can take the back bend. Bend your knees so your knees get responsive and resilient. As your knees bend, use the knuckle of one of your fingers. I usually use like my pointer finger knuckle. And I take it right into my tail to help draw my tail down to the earth so that I may lift my heart up. So tail down, heart up, head of the arm bones back. Tail down, heart up, not heart back, heart up. Tail down, heart up to the sky. Head of the arm bones back, sides of the neck back, tips of the ears back, eyes soft. Eyes in neutral, head up, push with your feet, right on top of the pelvis. Release your arms. To the top of your mat, blocks could be available for what's coming next. Take a big breath up. Exhale, have a seat chair pose. Fold forward to Uttanasana. Right leg back lunge. Right knee down. Right knee down. Walk your blocks beside you if you have them. They could be in the tallest position beside you. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. Back knee down. Top of the foot down. Blocks coming beside me. Pushing off the blocks. Now, if you don't have blocks, you can, or if the back of the leg is really tight, your hands could be here on the ground in front of you. But you're working towards rising. Also, if you don't have blocks, use your hands on your left quad. Lift up through your heart. Take a big breath up. Clasp your hands in the back plane. Use your first knuckle to touch your tail. Don't push on it. It's just a gentle tissue reminder. If tail draws down, heart lifts up. Head of the left shin bone keeps moving forward as you press your right foot down. Inhale and rise. Release your arms to the mat. Step your left leg back. Step your right leg forward. Big scissored legs, but they're also strongly pulling towards one another. That's what's going to help you keep your balance, is to press down through the top of the left foot and pull it in. Push down through the right heel and pull it in. So keeping the legs pulling towards one another, we call that muscle energy, one of the aspects of muscle energy in Anusara yoga. Work your hands either onto yoga blocks and bring the blocks back by your pelvis so that you get your belly and your ribs and your shoulders on top of your pelvis. Or if you don't have blocks, use your hands on your front quad, crawl towards the hip crease to move back. In breath, raise your arms up, take them out to a T. Clasp your hands behind your back, loosely hold at the fingers, more action from forearms and upper arms. Lift up through your heart as your tail goes down. Sides of the neck back, tips of the ears back. Top back of the skull extending. Eyes neutral. Head on top of pelvis. Release your hands to the floor on the next exhale. Push with your back foot. Lift up your back leg. Step together. Bring your hands to your pelvis. In breath and rise tall. Inhale, take a big breath up. Exhale, have a seat chair pose. Fold forward, Uttanasana. Step back to downward facing dog, please. Breathe. You stay in dog. Stay here and breathe. There's a wisdom that's within you that's innate. And as you breathe, allow yourself to recognize that if you can trust this wisdom within you and move in ways that are non-harming, you will continue to have the freedom to express your life creatively. A couple more breaths right here. From down dog, push with your left foot, right leg high in the air. Right leg comes forward into pigeon, right leg forward into pigeon. Once again, yoga blocks could be pretty nice in this moment because it's going to take huge scissoring action. So I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. In order to be here and stay upright, the tendency is we want to collapse and go down. And to be honest, a forward fold in pigeon can have some harming qualities. So see if you can find the strength to stay upright with your ribs in your belly and your chest and your head right on top of your pelvis. Front leg, it could be tucked in, sure, like with the heel closer towards the pelvis, or it could be a little bit forward. You get to pick that, what feels right for you for the position of the right foot. Just make sure you're pressing down into the edge or the top of the right foot. And then work your left leg back any amount. So we're staying up. Use your hands to push to keep your heart lifted so we're not collapsing. Take another breath. Walk back in a little bit closer with your back foot and then bend your left knee. See if you can balance without hands holding on to anything. Reach your left hand back to receive your left foot. And if you can't get it, just grab your yoga pants. Bend your left elbow. Push off the block if you're using it. And if you're not using a block, you can push off your right thigh bone. As you spread your toes on both feet and pull your feet and legs towards one another. Push your left foot away, but resist with your hand. Keeping your left elbow bent, use your left forearm in, left upper arm out. In breath, right arm up. Turn your left ribs to the right so that your belly button starts to line up with your right knee. Next breath, right hand down, left leg extends, hands to the mat, push with your left foot, toes tucked, pick your left knee up, step your right foot back to dog and breathe. Second side, left leg forward, right knee down. Top of the right foot down to start. Could certainly stay tucked under. You know, it could, sure, that's better for your knee, it could stay tucked under. To begin, we're just gonna see if we can get the ribs and the shoulders and the head on top of the pelvis. So you could use blocks, which help a lot. Books help. You could use books if you don't have blocks. You can also use your hand on your front leg and work your hands back. What allows you to lift is the strong action of your legs, both legs pulling towards one another. That's what's going to help. Let's work the back leg back for a moment. So we'll untuck the toes, wiggle it back, lay the top of the foot down. Seeing if we can keep the pelvis level so that both sides of the pelvis are even, not one side dropping lower than the other. Maybe you could wiggle the back leg back a little bit more, see what happens. And as you work it back and keep lifted, you're going to feel hamstring glutes in the right leg. Absolutely. All right, coming out of that, push with your back foot, toes tucked. You're going to come up a little taller now, so there's like air and gap and space in between the legs. This gives you the ability to pull your legs towards one another strongly, and that's what gives you the balance to be able to let go with the hands. Breathe, and on your next exhale, bend your right knee, reach up with your right hand, reach back and take hold of your right foot. If that's not accessible, grab your yoga pant or just stay there with your right knee bent and breathe. On an in-breath, left arm up, these are all options. Turn your belly button towards your left knee as you lift up through your heart and draw down through your tail. One more breath. Release the left hand down, extend the right leg out, tuck your toes. On your right foot, push with your hands on the floor, lift your right leg up, step up and back into dog. Breathe. On your next breath, bring your knees to the mat, swing your legs forward. So stretching out long on your mat. You're in Dandasana, seated staff pose. Work your hands back beside you or even a little bit behind you so that you're not leaning forward into this shape. You're bringing your ribs, your shoulders, your head right on top of your pelvis. Spread your toes out wide. Press down through your heels. Press down through the backs of your calves, the backs of your knees, the backs of your thighs. And then rooting your outer hips to the mat, inhale, raise your arms up, keeping your spine long as possible, forward fold. Hands can touch anything. They could touch the earth, they could touch your legs, you could reach for your toes. Continue to breathe. On an exhale, drop your head all the way in. I lifted my head just so the mic stayed clear. But on the next exhale, go ahead and let your head drop all the way in. Your spine will flex. Strong legs. Steady breath. Bring your hands back by your pelvis. Push down with your legs. Push with your hands to inhale and come up. Open your legs out wide. So choose what wide means to you so that it's non-harming. Stay with your breath. Turn your chest, your heart towards your right knee. Inhale, rise up as you press down through the heels and the back of both legs. Exhale, forward fold towards your right leg. Lift your elbows up, whatever you're holding. If you're holding the ground, great. If you're holding onto your foot or your ankle, interesting. Wherever you are, though, lift your elbows up. So it allows you the opportunity to extend your heart forward and turn your left ribs to the right. So you're aiming your heart to your right knee. Press down into both sitting bones evenly. Work your hands back towards your pelvis. Push with your legs down. Push with your hands down to inhale and come up. Breathe. Turn your ribs towards your left leg. Inhale, rise tall through the spine. Pressing down through your legs and pulling your legs towards one another. Forward fold towards your left leg. If your hands are touching the ground, elbow tips up. If your hands are holding onto your leg, elbow tips up. Keeping the elbow tips up keeps the heart lifted, and from the lift of your heart, extend from the core of your pelvis to your heart longer. Trust that you can move out into the world, not harming yourself or others. As you turn your right ribs more to the left so that your heart lines up a little bit more with your left knee. Take another breath. Keep tacking down your outer right side of your pelvis. It'll want to float up on this. Work it down. Breathe. Staying anchored down into the legs, work your hands back towards your pelvis. Inhale and come up. Bring your legs together at the midline. Bend both knees. Touch both feet together. Use your hands back behind you. Push with your hands into the mat as you press your feet into one another. Draw your heels towards your pubic bone and lift up through your heart here in bound angle. And then release. Slide your left leg underneath your right, cross your right leg over. Now, this shape is strange, right, for you. You could keep your left leg extended, right knee to chest. The right foot could also cross over. So we're doing a more advanced shape. You could be here. Right knee bent, left leg fully extended. Right leg could cross the midline. And then what I'm teaching today is that the left leg tucks under. Use your left hand to hug your right knee into chest. That's for everybody. For everybody, push down through both feet and down through both legs, down through both sides of the pelvis, down through the sitting bones as you lift up through your heart. Keep hugging your knee into you and turn your left ribs to the right. In breath, raise your right arm up. You can just make a back circle with your right arm landed on the mat. As soon as your hand touches down, go to ridge top. That's just finger pads on the mat. Means the heel of the hand is lifted and you push with the hand to help create more lift, more length through your spine. Option is to look over the right shoulder. It's just a little bit extra. In breath, return everything to center. And let's just see if we can lay the right knee on top of the left knee. So feet are out wide. See how that one is. It might be three-dimensional. Things might be up in the air. It's all okay. We're not here long. All right, uncross. Let's go to the second side. So left knee is to chest. And the first shape might just be right here. Left knee to chest, hug the left knee in. You could also take the left foot and cross the midline and still hug the knee to the chest. This is a great place to be as well. And then the variation that I am teaching today is bottom knee bent and tucked in. So you got hamstring glute on both legs if you're working it, right? Because both knees are bent. Use your right arm and strongly draw the left knee into your chest, whatever shape you've chosen. Strongly draw into the core of you and trust this wisdom and strength that's within you to endure and continue to explore life creatively. As you press down into the foundation of your feet and tack your outer left hip down, in breath, raise your left arm up. On an exhale, just make a circle into the back plane. Land your left fingertips on the ground, bend your left elbow, and push with your left fingertips, right? So the heel of the hand is not on the ground. We're building wrist strength here. Now turn the right side of your belly to the left, right? So you're turning towards the leg that's in the front plane, crossing the midline. Hug in a little bit stronger with your right arm. And as you take your next breath, turn your gaze as an option to the left. So in this moment, the left leg is protecting your heart. It's making sure you don't get hurt. It's crossing the midline or just in front of your heart space, and your heart's even turning into it. We have to trust ourselves that we know that there are times where we reveal our hearts and times where we protect our hearts. On an in-breath, head to center, everything back to center. All right, just playing with another shape. See how it is to bring both knees on top of each other. Legs are out wide, fingertips back behind you, lift up. And if it's three-dimensional, that's fine. Just working towards knees stacked. All right, uncross. I'm just turning sideways so you can see. Hold on to your hamstrings and ease yourself down to the mat. I'm staying upright. You go ahead and lay all the way down on your back. Once you're down on your back, hug your knees into your chest. And now release both feet to the floor. Yeah, just draw your right knee into your chest and stretch your left leg out long. So left leg will stretch out on the mat. And there's equal opposition here. So as you press down through your left heel, and reach from your pelvis through your left leg longly, really long. Use your strong arms to not only bring your right knee to your chest, but also your right pelvic half. Good, and now release your right foot down, bend your left knee, both knees are bent, and switch sides. So now left knee into chest, right leg extends out long on the mat. Use your hands to hug your left knee in. Spread your toes on both feet. As you press down through your right heel, add a little bit more extension from the right side of your pelvis through your right heel. Single knee to chest. Left knee strongly hugging in. You're using this tremendous strength that's within you to hug to you, while actively reaching out. And then release. Draw both knees in one last time. So give yourself one hug, both knees back in, last round. Yeah, there you go. You can rock, you can sway. All right. Stretch your legs out long, your arms down beside you. Turn your palms open, close your eyes. Rest.